Hey, Mike, the sales doctor with Diagnose and Prescribe. Thank you for watching. Last video, I talked about the money and how we as salespeople over the years and decades have been trained not to talk about it, that it's a touchy subject. But I'm finding more and more the importance of talking about the money in the beginning, because some of the benefits that I'm seeing are enormous. And I remember back when I did talk about the money, I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know when to do it, how to do it, but now I know. And depending on your product or service that you're offering, I'm going to make a couple suggestions here. I am right now leaving a home, designed a system for some prospects, and right off the beginning I talked about the money. In fact, I put together a sheet, which I recommend that you might do, where you have 4 different offerings, and go ahead and laminate it. And if you do in-home sales, you ask to maybe sit down and go over some things, or however you want to word it. And people like that. Instead of just going to whatever you're in there to do or sell or offer or design, have a little chat time. I remember back in the day where I drank 2 or 3 cups of coffee with prospects at their kitchen table before I even started designing heating and cooling systems for them. So the bonds were made early, the trust was made early, and I even probed a little bit on the money side back in those days. But today, the consumer, our prospects, are living in an era of anxiety. And I know those of you watching in sales completely agree. There is hesitation here in 2026 to make purchases, especially big ticket items. So I believe we as salespeople need to discuss budgets and where your prospects want to be or need to be. And also you're going to discover that some of them have no clue the current prices of things today. And can you imagine spending all that time getting to the prescription phase that I teach in Diagnose and Prescribe, and have them in their minds the whole time thinking something is $8,000 and it actually comes out to be $14,000. That is major hesitation, major red flags, and definitely no fun at the last phase in your sales process. So this could be kind of a long video because I'm driving and yapping, heading back to Omak, where I live, here in eastern Washington. So 4 options, and back in the day it was 2 options, then it went to 3, and now 4 options tends to be trending. And I believe the theory behind that is prospects, if you give them 3 options, generally speaking, they'll pick the middle one. And then most companies will pad that, modify it, and throw some trickery in there. And the consumer's getting pretty smart nowadays, that they know you have it all geared for them to choose the middle one. So you throw number 4 in there, And now there's a lot of benefits to that. At first I thought, oh no, 4 options. Then all we're going to hear as salespeople is the horrible statement, we have to think about it. And that's the last thing you want to hear. And usually if you hear that, it's due to the price. Or maybe they're waiting for other quotes, estimates. So I like 4, and the way I like to design 4 is once you determine, and you're doing this very casually, you're not getting specific with your prospects, your demeanor isn't changing, you're not getting excited if you're thinking they're 12,000 and they say, hey, we can do 15 to 20. You're not changing your appearance because you're thinking about the money. Okay, remember, as Christians, God rewards us later. We just need to meet the needs of these prospects. That's our goal. The reward comes later. So 4 options, and the way you do that is you throw out the question, maybe, I don't want you to have to wait to find out what this investment's going to be, or cost, or price, or whatever you're comfortable saying without being corny. And you will say, are we in the, and you might throw it out if you don't have it in writing, are we in the 9 to 12,000 range, 12 to 20? Just kind of give me an idea so I know what to design for you that will fall within your budget. So what we're doing here by covering this early is you are dropping the guard, the fear factor, that question mark that people have. And generally in sales, they get to hear it at the end, and it's almost always too much, right? You guys know that. It's almost always too much, unless you did a really good job during your diagnose phase. But setting that aside, nothing's changed in the selling approach that I teach, diagnose and prescribe. Nothing has changed, except we now want to enter into the money side during the early part of your diagnose phase. So the 4 options, once you determine a budget area, let's say for example 8 to 12,000, then you're going to, while you are doing your diagnosing, again, finding problems, investigating, looking for needs. When you get to the prescription and you present the 4 different options, those options will fit within that range that they told you that they needed to be. The other benefit here is that your prospects are less likely to shop you because you've already determined their budget that they're comfortable with. And those of you that don't offer financing in this day and age, you have to offer financing. Not only is it less painful, but people now are living paycheck to paycheck. And I have heard that the majority of Americans don't have $500 in their savings account. So you need to offer financing. Now, in these first, that's a strong coffee. In these first 4 proposals that you're going to offer, the first one will be very basic. It will meet the need, the general need, and it won't cover a lot of the solutions that you have found through the problem seeking, looking for problems, looking for needs, your discovery phase, that will come in option B. You'll start adding those in as you start crafting these 4 different. This is probably one of my most important videos I'll ever do. Well, I always say that, but this is one everyone needs to watch. And I'm going to put all of this in a sales book someday, guys, Lord willing. I will sit down and put all this 46 years, almost 46 years of sales experience into a book and make it simple for you, because it's really just various phases without a bunch of complicated memorization of nonsense, handling objection phrases and all that mechanical stuff. So you can be a Christian, walk in the Holy Spirit, and not get all stressed out on your sales calls. Anyway, as you're putting together and crafting these proposals, you start adding more solutions to those problems. I also like to start with the one that covers everything. So basically the most expensive, and then work your way down. Also in your financing, you can also do some crafting in that. Maybe offer 60 months, 0% on A and B. Maybe offer 48 months on proposal C, and maybe 36 months on proposal D, or whatever financing programs you have. And what happens there too is, if your prospects are monthly payment, the longer the term, the smaller the payment. So they would more likely choose the option A or B that solves most of their issues, and their payment's smaller. So this is creative, very creative financing. And you do this where you don't box people in. Remember, humans want to make the decision on their own. You just provide the everything they need to make that choice on their own. Then they own it. Then they're comfortable with it, and you're going to have less chance of buyer remorse or backing out. So I'm doing this. I did it years ago, but now I believe society now is so anxious. Everybody's so stressed out, and not trusting anybody. And with AI, can't stand AI. I think it's going to be Satan's greatest tool in the years ahead or months ahead. So I can't stand it. Some of you techie folks out there might like it, but be prepared. It's going to be, right now it's deceptive, but I can see where it's going to end up in a prophetic sense. That's not what this video's on. So really do what I'm talking about. Try it. Email me. I love to communicate. I love to respond. Say something on the YouTube page. Stuff like that. I trust in the Lord. I like sharing this stuff. I don't get paid for it. I don't want to get paid for it. I'm going to do a book someday. I'm not into the likes. As you see, I've had 300 followers, 400 followers. I don't care. I don't need 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 followers. I do fine. I'm not worried about finances. But I want to teach you guys how to be predictable salespeople and comfortable salespeople, and not anxious, stressed out salespeople, because you can make an extremely good living in sales if it's your focus isn't about you, if it isn't about the dollar. And if you're a Christian, the Lord will take care of all that. The more you focus on people like Christ did, the more the Holy Spirit will sell and close your jobs. Fact. That is a fact. So, I'm not too far from destination now. It's probably a 30-minute training. It's better than being stuck in the doctor's suit, stuck in an old clammy office. I'd rather be in the work truck today. You guys really do this. Do this. Throw away all the just nonsense sales stuff that turned you into a robot, a mechanical salesperson. Don't you want to be yourself? Don't you want to be a human being? Or do you want to have all these phrases memorized in your mind where you just sound like a robot? You know, the consumer's catching on to all that. Don't you want to have referrals that are just mega positive, that you were a great experience, unlike anything else that they've experienced with people? You don't even want the name salesperson, that you were just such a great help. I mean, think long term. Don't just think about now, today. What kind of reputation are you building in your sales career? All right, I'm gonna check out, and I will do another video here down the road. I'm thinking I'll be working on the sales book probably this fall and winter. Getting ready to enter into the busy season here, probably a couple weeks out. So, like the Sales Doctor, thank you for watching.